Hello, and welcome to an experience unlike any other. Are you ready for a ride that you never asked for? Just kidding. Hello. Welcome to Maybe It's Me podcast, the podcast where I give you unsolicited, unwarranted, unasked for, but honest and sometimes funny sex advice. I am your host, Carlos Ramirez, and welcome, and thank you for coming to the first episode of Maybe It's Me podcast, the podcast where I give you sex advice. So please feel free to write in. My email is in my Instagram bio. If anything, it's maybeitspod@gmail.com. So please be 18 or older and send me in your sex woes, concerns, questions. And I will do my best to give you my painfully honest sex advice here on the podcast. I am 25 years old. I've been sexually active for mind your business how long, and yeah, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so let me break down categories of my podcast. So every single week there will be a sex topic of the day where we just talk about nonsense. We just pick a sex topic, I pick a sex topic, and I just talk about it. So today and next week it'll be just I, and then starting my third week I'll have a fun guest to just kind of not so seriously talk about the sex topic of the day. And so today's sex topic is, does size matter? It's about size. Does it matter? Do we care? Who cares? Why should we care? Why does it matter? And things of that nature. And so right off the bat, I'm going to answer the question with yes, it does matter. It doesn't matter like in the long run, I guess. I mean, when I am searching for someone to like co-sign a mortgage, maybe like the size of the bank account matters. But, you know, I don't think dick size is the end all be all. I would say for recreational purposes and exclusively recreational purposes, it does matter. If we see each other once a month, I feel like there should be a large incentive. Literally. I know if to others it doesn't matter. I mean, there are realities like the bigger, the more it hurts. You may be inclined to use other substances if things are too large. And I say things because, you know, not everyone's a male. Not everyone is. I'm just going to say, we've all heard of a strap-on. So, yeah, I mean, I think it does. I mean, I will say there are limits. Know your limits. If you have to resort to substances to take it, right? Like you are like breathing is not enough, right? Maybe size does matter for you, but not in the way we may think. Maybe you need, you know, something a bit more portable, you know what I mean? I think like portable size, you know, something smaller. I think that may be for you. It's not for me, right? So, you know, that's what I'm going to say. So maybe it's me, right? Maybe it's me who really just needs that incentive. Like me, myself, and my spouse. I mean, I think I would be ultra satisfied, like 8 inches plus. But I mean, anything less than that, I mean, it's still good. And I think actually let's take a moment, right, and just discuss like size brackets, right? Obviously like micro is like out of the question. You have a phenomenal personality. You are likely, I don't want to say you're likely asexual because that's not true, but I would imagine sexual intercourse is not the number one on your priority list. So for me, that's a no-go, right? No shade, no tea. I just need to feel it. And I bet you have an amazing personality if you have a micro, but, and if not, get one. Next one, what are we going to do? Let's do like 5 to like 6.5 inches. I think that is like happy range, right? Like if you're experienced, you know what you're doing, you know, if you know your partner, so let's say like relationship, perfectly fine. I think if you are like hookup culture with this size, I would just be mindful of what you're doing. Make sure you know what you're doing because that is important. Because, you know, maybe naturally it won't hit where it needs to, but it doesn't mean you can't make it. So that is one bracket. So what do we consider that? Let's say that's like medium. I would say that's medium. I don't really think small is like a real. I understand if I say medium, there has to be a small. So let's like say small is anywhere from micro to 5 inches. I don't really have much to comment about that. It's small. It is what it is. Know what you're doing, right? But 5 to 6, let's say that's medium. That is also, I believe, the national, not even national, I think the international average is like 5.5 inches. So there's just a reality too. It must be satisfying enough people. It's also just human reality of where we're at. So yeah, I mean, medium length is good. I mean, plenty of people, you know, don't want to put much effort in, or it's not like something that like sex isn't like their number one, right? And so I think it's good enough. It can be amazing, it can be a flop, but I do think it is very much up to the user, the user, right? As if it's a laptop. I think it really. A laptop. Who the hell thinks user and laptop? Like I don't know why that was my first thought, but it was. Yeah, it's very up to its user discretion, right? I think it can be great. It can be a flop. It can be all right. That is definitely, you know, that situation. I think once you start hitting 7 to 8 inches is where things become spicy. So this is definitely like on the larger end. I wouldn't say like big, right? I wouldn't like well endowed, hung, right? I don't, maybe 8 inches, right? 7.5, we start getting there. But I would say this group of individuals or toys requires less skill from the user. So actually that is why I said user before. If it's a toy, it's a user. If it's an individual, it's an individual. But that is really what I have to say about that. It's enjoyable. I enjoy it. I'm going to be really honest. This is going to be raunchy. If you know my family, mind your business. This is where I feel like oral becomes the most fun. I don't know what else to say about that. If I'm going to go down there, I feel like there needs to be something to do, to enjoy. When you see like an ice cream bar popsicle stick, you get excited, right? Because it's like full, it's big, it's there, it's what you're thinking it is. Once you like eating it halfway, like people throw it out, you know what I mean? Like it's just, this is where it becomes fun. Or that orally, I think size matters more than penetration. I'll say that. I think that is really how I feel on the subject, because I think many people have experienced sizes on the spectrum that I'm going over right now and had different experiences from small, big, medium. I don't think micro, but orally, I find like there's a difference. The more you have to work with, the more there is to do, therefore the more fun it is. And that is really all I have to say about that. Now let's move on to the next category of people, which are hung individuals, large toys. I would say this is 8 inches above. This is when, especially at like 9, breathing techniques, right? 1, 2, 3, hold. You know what I mean? Like you really need to think about it. You need to trust your body. You need to listen to your body. And then it becomes enjoyable. I do think that size is not meant for everybody. Not everybody wants to do all that. Not everybody enjoys that. And that is okay. So I do think size matters in both aspects, right? Either too big or too small. Again, don't resort to drugs or like poppers, example, just to take it. If you need to every time, it is likely too large. You just don't want to get into that habit, and then you might start using it when you do it with everyone, and then it becomes less fun, and then there's a cycle that goes from there. So I do think it matters. I do think, again, so what? We got 4 categories, which is like micro, 5 to 6.5 inches, and then 7 inches to 8 inches, and then 8 and above, with a stress on 9 and above being intimidating. I mean, not to me, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's me, but it is unique experience. With that being said, I do think it matters. I do think it matters. Anyone who says it doesn't matter is a liar. You want to be satisfied, and you also want your partner to be able to do that. So it's not the end all be all. Again, I would take someone with 6 inches with consistent income, a good credit score, the ability to overcome obstacles in life, someone who doesn't take failure personally, than someone with 8 inches who isn't doing anything. A bum, we might say. Yeah, so what are your thoughts? I know I just told you for the past, 10 minutes what mine were and my preferences, but what about you? Do you agree? Feel free to DM me, my latest Instagram post at Maybe It's Pod on Instagram. You'll see it linked. Email me. But yeah, I think now it's time to get into some advice questions. Who's excited? I'm excited. Let's go. Okay, so let's get into these advice questions. We're just going to jump right into it. I am not going to name anyone you DM me, email me asking to. Not my problem, because I'm not going to do it. But thank you so much. I'm super appreciative for you contributing to the podcast, making this easier. Makes it so much easier to run, because the alternative is searching the internet and Reddit for questions all over. I'm trying to be unique. And so thank you so much. I want to start off by the first person who wrote in. I'm going to call them Lady Lashes. Not because of the question they asked, because I know who they are. And so Lady Lashes, Lash Lady. I like Lady Lashes. Lady Lashes. We're going to go with that name. And Lady Lashes had a couple of questions. So we're going to do Lady Lashes part 1. We'll do part 2 next week. And they asked, they're like, body count and fetishes, is it always an energy connection? And to that, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say body count. That I think is more preference. I think energy connection, if you have a certain preference and so does the other person. So dating people with lower body counts, people who don't care about body counts, I guess that in and of itself is an energy. That's more like personality, what you're comfortable with, what you're not. And yeah, I think that one's quite simple. Fetishes, I think, is actually very important that there's an energy connection, because I think you need a sense of trust. So if it's not within yourself, if it's a long-term partner, I would imagine it'd be that person or whoever's doing the things to you. There's also the trust in your ability to stop. So even if you don't really know the person, you're trying something new. So it's hook up. They went into some freaky shit, right? Like bigger toys or tying up. There could also be you trust that they're not going to harm you. And then you also trust yourself and your ability to get out of the situation. I think that's also really important. So I think the connection with the other person, but also having a good sense of mind would help too. But trust your partner. Even if you don't know them, if you don't feel safe or you don't trust them, do not try anything new, please, out of experience. And the other statement question is the importance of a whore era, one night stands, and cheating/dating on the internet. Importance of a whore era and one night stands, I think, is so based on the individual. I think like if you, let's say like you want a family early, you have certain goals, you have certain values. I think you don't need your whore era. I think you should have sex with more than one person because it's more than just pleasure, right? Like I think everyone loves having I mean, for me, because I'm a male, right? Their A spot, like, at least touched, played with a little bit, right? Women, I don't know what it's called. I'm so sorry. I can't relate. But everyone enjoys it. And I think it's important to experience that type of connection with more than one person. You know what I mean? Just because you don't know what you don't know. And like, look, if you were like 1,000% satisfied with one person in your life, you don't feel the need to go elsewhere. Who am I? Right? But if you feel like less than satisfied, feel like there could be more, or you just want to explore and your partner's not giving that to you, I mean, it's important. I mean, sex from a scientific point of view is very healthy. It's very normal. It's one, like, kind of why we exist, right? To repopulate. And yeah, I mean, and if someone isn't, you exactly how you want to, then I feel like you have every right to seek elsewhere. So whore phase, how do I feel about it? It really depends how you feel about it, right? If you're not complaining, don't let anyone else convince you that you don't have what's great. If you're good, you're satisfied, you're happy, who is anyone else? One night stands, trust someone with your location, and don't be like me and not tell people where you're going, or just go. I think, or at least have one person have your location, or have that, relationship with one person. Like, I have a super good friend that I will call and be like, I'm sending you my location. Don't ask questions. And that's great, right? It's, if I go missing, here it is. I think it's fine. I think be safe, ask questions, trust your gut, unless your gut is telling you to not ask questions, unless you know them. But one night stand, I always imply that you don't know them. So just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of not who you are, but like your state of mind. They're fun. That's all I'm going to say. They're fun. Some of my best sexual experiences have been one night stands. And sometimes you just want to get plowed out, or you want to do plowing, right? I think sometimes, again, it's a normal thing to do. So let's just embrace it. You know what I mean? Just 1, 2, 3. Breathing techniques. We went over it earlier. Yeah. Be prepared. Also, supply your own shit. Let me tell you, I understand there is this stigma about the other person, like supplying like condoms, lube, things of that nature. I think we need to start realizing that it's not about the dynamic, it's about yourself. So you want to keep yourself protected, you want to keep yourself prepared, and you shouldn't trust that with someone else, period. Cheating/dating on the internet. I haven't dated on the internet. I mean, that's a lie. That's a whole ass lie. I have definitely dated on the internet, but not, I don't have a ton of relationship experience. I have a ton of, sexual experience. But it's harder for me to answer because, when you're dating on the internet, and let's say you haven't met that often, you live far, it's a distance, versus you meeting people in person, it's just a different connection. And I think we have to be honest with ourselves about that connection. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to your partner. Don't lie to people online. I will also say, it's online. Don't take life too seriously. Again, be optimistic. Ask questions. If your gut is telling you to not ask questions, then do not trust it. But just be aware. Protect yourself. I have actually been fortunate enough to meet someone in person that I had a situationship with for a couple months, and that's nice. Dating on the internet doesn't compare to meeting someone in person. I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think it'll ever be the same thing. It's not the same feeling. You don't have the same connection. And Yeah, I mean, that's all I can say about that. Dating on the internet, I mean, it's great. It's helpful. It's a tool, but don't allow that tool to keep you from doing other things, which is like being open in person. I don't feel like you're really any safer, to be quite honest. Like, yeah, maybe you're not alone, but you don't know how they're tricking you or lying to you, you know? Yeah, and that is my lady lashes. Is that what I said? Lady lashes? Lash of lady? I don't remember. Miss Homegirl here with the lashes. Part 1. That is my comment on that. Part 2 will be next week on that. And next person, let me see here. The second question I found on the internet. So again, I ask, please, if you're listening, just write into me. I do prefer you send an email to maybe it's pod@gmail.com. It's also in my Instagram bio. But if you'd rather not, you can feel free to DM me. So this one is called, How Do I Make Anal Painless? And before I even read what it says, dreamer. Whoever is asking this question is a dreamer. I feel like there's always a sense of pain in sex. Not maybe pain, like not like a sharp pain, but I mean, there's at least at one moment where you are like slightly uncomfortable because you've never tried something before or feels different this time. So painless dreamer mentality. But let's see. I'm very short compared to my sneaky link. I'm 5'6" and he's 6'4". Dream. He has a painfully large dick, 8.75 inches. So as I said before, remember the 8-inch up, especially around 9, large. And I literally cannot handle it no matter how much lube we use. At most, he can get his tip and an inch or two of his shaft worked in before I give out. It gets really thick toward the middle of the shaft. I feel bad because I'm giving him blue balls and all he can do is finger me while I stroke him. Is there any way I can get better at receiving it? I don't really know what to say to this because it just seems like inexperience. Again, like you need to breathe. That is one thing. Like breathe. Right, it's anal, right? Like as things are like entering you, you can like feel like your body and your muscles like preventing that penetration. 1, 2, 3. Breathing techniques. I'm never going to suggest poppers in this case. Emphasis on in this case because I would recommend poppers to an experienced person. I use them. Straight people use them. I don't know if women use them. Women chime in. Ask. Tell me. Would you use poppers? Do you know what poppers are? Are they weird to you? Let me know. I have no idea. But breathing techniques. You want to use a toy? Definitely get like a similar dildo. It actually doesn't even have to be the same length. I would suggest the same length because that is quite long. But it seems like you're struggling with the thickness and you need to chill the fuck out. That's what it is. You're nervous. At this point, you're nervous. You said, oh, like I feel bad. Don't feel bad. If he keeps coming back, it's because he, one way or another, is getting some satisfaction. He's not too mad. Yeah, I just don't feel bad. It sounds like you're nervous. It truly does. It sounds like you're more psyching yourself out. You need to calm the fuck down and get a toy and use silicone-based lube. Water-based lube, garbage. Easier to clean, I get it, but silicone-based, it's expensive. But if you're putting out, you might as well put out financially a bit too. I'm just saying because it's worth it. Protect yourself. You're literally struggling. So you want to kind of get the better things, at least in the beginning, treat your body nicely. That is all I really have on that, to be quite honest with you. Just chill out. Take a Xanny. Don't take a Xanny. I've never taken one. The concept of a Xanny is what I'm thinking about, which is just chilling the fuck out. But don't make decisions to sleep with people under the influence. That is not what I'm saying. Do not get yourself sexually assaulted because I told you to take a Xanax. Again, I'm giving you unqualified advice. So if you listening to me is a choice. I just want to say that. Next question, which is anxious about hooking up. So this person is 19. Anxious about hooking up. Again, earlier, Lady Lash. I didn't name the last person. So let me take a step back. Wait, before I get here, let me take a step back and realize that I did not name the last person. So the last person, how to make anal pain, dreamer. No, I literally said it. They are a dreamer. They are dick-taking dreamers. A dreamer. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call them. They are... I'm trying to combine the two. I'm trying to make it not as complicated, like 2 words, right? Dream dick? No, because that's not what they're thinking. It's more dreamful, dreamer. Think of like a name, right? Like Dreamer Johnson. Yeah, Dreamer Johnson. You know why? Because Johnson & Johnson sells baby products and you're being a baby. Calm the fuck down and you'll be okay. Dreamer Johnson. Next question, anxiety about hooking up. This person is scaredy fuck pants. That's what I'm going to call them. They are scared and, right, isn't it like scaredy pants? Isn't that what the phrase is? I'm horrible. Like me and phrases and proverbs. I mean, we blend because I use them, but I never get them right. So, yeah, that name that I just said that I don't remember is... They are scaredy dick pants, scaredy cat. Oh, scaredy cat. Stupid. They are I don't even know. Right. You know what? Let me read the question. That makes more sense. So let me see. The question is, hey y'all, I'm 19 in college and I'm really starting to explore my sexuality. I've talked to a handful of dudes on Grindr who have wanted to meet up with, but I've pussied out because I'm scared about the bad things that might happen. How did y'all get over these nerves and actually meet with someone? I really want to get out there and have some fun. Okay, so anxiety in closet. I'm going to pull the name from Heidi in Closet, the drag queen. Anxiety in closet. Anna in closet. Yep, Anna in closet. And Anna, Miss Closet, Mr. Closet, I'm assuming, but let's not assume. Miss Anna in Closet, you just have to hit send if it makes you feel better. If it's like true anxiety, right? Like not like you literally just pussing out. If it's like true anxiety, prepare as much as possible. Gather your things, get your lube, get your condoms, take your PrEP, be on PrEP, link wherever the hell I can link it. Take your PrEP, be on PrEP, stay sexually active. Not sexually active, sexually aware. Stay sexually aware and safe. Go for it. I mean, anxiety can run your life. So you need to channel whatever you channel when other things scare you and you overcome them. The same concept. You just kind of do it. If it's losing your virginity, I don't know. Maybe it's different. Yeah, that's all I can really say. Maybe it's different if you're losing virginity. I didn't have that issue. Maybe it's me. It wasn't a big issue to me. It wasn't a big deal to me. It was much more transactional than I think the average person may view intercourse. But yeah, that's all I can really say to that. It's just don't even think about it in like a positive way, right? Like you want to do it, you're prepared, trust that in yourself, and you'll be good. And this one, we're going to make the last one of the day, the last one of my first episode. If you're still here, thank you so much for staying here. I'm just so overwhelmingly appreciative for the support. And yeah, let's get right to it. And this one's a fun one. This person wrote, subject, doggy. Should her legs be outside of mine or on the inside of mine? Question mark. Let's say the K9 Matthews. Why Matthews? I don't know. So that is actually a whole lie. I do know. And it's because I watch a lot of Drag Race. and Ross Matthews. So dog, Canny Matthews. It depends what you're accomplishing. Should her legs be outside mine or the inside? I would imagine on the inside, you have the ability, like you're more in control, you know? So I think you could go faster, harder, go on more on top. I think the inside is a more intimate position, right? Because you're really able to like get under and through. And I think it depends what the goal is. Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to go to like, if you're trying to really like pound the living out of someone, definitely on the inside. I think if it's more an emotional attachment or just a slower pace, not even emotional, if it's just a slower pace, I think on the outside. With that being said, big note, they did say her. I don't have experience with that. So maybe that's not true, but for men, that's definitely true. I would imagine for women, it's similar. And it also has to do with if like your penis has a lean or curve, you want to make sure that everything is right. So it depends on preference. If you ask me, my leg should be on the inside or your leg should be on the inside. Her leg should be on the inside. That's just kind of what my take is. I also think it's like so much easier on the legs. I was like, when it's on the outside, like you really like, what is it called? Frog pose or like that frog position. Like that is such an important workout because when it is on the inside, you can just keep them knees together. Let me tell you, you just knees together, grab your thumbs and suck that shit up. And that is where I'm going to call it. That's where I'm going to end it. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being supportive. I am just so overwhelmingly appreciative and truly have no words for the support. I could be talking into the abyss, but at least I would imagine at least one person is listening. So thank you so much for sticking around. If this didn't help you, you chose to listen. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for listening to Maybe It's Me. We went through some things that, again, these all could be me. Maybe all of my opinions are solely mine and no one else shares them, but it is what it is. So again, thank you so much for, joining along with me. I hope you're able to giggle, laugh, or, at least think. Again, thank you so much for an episode. Have a great day. You can find me on Instagram. So my personal is carlos.rami, carlos.rami. And you can also interact with me through my podcast Instagram, which is Maybe It's Pod. Feel free to send me an email at maybeitspod@gmail.com to send in your questions, concerns, woes, and I will give you my unsolicited, unwarranted, unasked for, honest, but a little bit funny advice. And so thank you again.